Hey guys, Dislitter Magic here, and somebody requested that I do the box EV calculations, the expected value or average value projected to be returned from one box if you were to open it of Theros Beyond Death. So I did so. So here's the spreadsheet. I'm completely ignoring the commons, and unfortunately I had to completely ignore the extended art, showcase, special frame, alternative. There's so much messed up junk in Magic. I don't know what's where. I don't know where you get what product contains what. So we're just going to pretend it doesn't exist. We're going mythic, rare, and foils of each, the end. Not considering commons or uncommons either. So those are the rules. So the mythic prices are as follows. Ranges from $3 to $38. Really, there's only one loser, and the rest are like worth more than the pack. So if you open one of those, you're good. So basically, if you hit a mythic, you're pretty much in the money. Then for rares, I mean, the top end looks pretty good, but that crashes right down to lower than the cost of a pack really quickly. I mean, look at that. It's literally just these five. The temples are all $2, and then it's just gone. So the rares are worth nothing, the mythic's worth everything. It's just pull a mythic or don't, basically. And then the rest of the money's in the collector's booster, which is screwing with these prices anyway. So overall, like, this just makes it look like a disaster of a set. But I fully expect that a couple in the middle here to spike really high if they become popular in a deck, because that's just what happens. So right now people are like, I don't know what'll take off. It's hard to say. And then they're pricing them all low so that no matter what they lose, I don't know, whatever. So let's take a look at the numbers here. We've got the big reveal ready to happen. Are you ready? All right, so the mythic average is $13.60. That is the average price of the average mythic. And you can tell because it would be, right about here. That would be the median, but still, that's about what they land at. So then we've got the rare slot EV, which is a pathetic $2.14. Now, I'm actually surprised it's that high, but, I mean, look at these. They drive it up. I mean, $17 versus $1, that's going to throw up the average a little bit. So it is still $2.14. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, but how could it be an average of $2.14 when there's this many below 2? That doesn't make sense. That's how averages work, is because these are so high. So the way that you calculate an EV, or at least the way you think about it, is if I were to open 10,000 boxes and then add up the total cost of every single rare and divide it by like 53 or whatever, however many there are, I would have $2.14 per card average. So your box, if you open one booster box, may vary. In fact, it will vary greatly because this swings really high and really low. But that's the average. That's the expected value, the EV. Now, the variance, the standard deviation, or the swing, up and down swing, very high on this one. Very, very, very high. I don't know how to actually calculate it, but it is ridiculously high. So you could really lose or really win, and I don't like that. That's not safe. I would say for this one, just buy the singles. So the rare slot average, which considers that mythics are half the prevalence of rares, is $3.56. So I mean, still below $3.99, unfortunately. But foils, how much are those worth? Well, you've got about a 27% chance of pulling a foil, or if you pull a foil, for it to be a rare or mythic. Otherwise, the rest will be common or uncommon. And we're still not sure on that number, but as far as I know from how they print it, that is true. So that slot, considering you can only get one in every 4 packs, is only 34 cents. So that adds up to a total pack EV of $3.90, which is below the MSRP. So naturally, the box EV is $140.30. So if you're paying, $144 a box, or whatever the former MSRP is, I think it's actually 141 something, whatever. You're gonna lose. I mean, you're gonna slowly lose money on that. But I mean, what are they available online for? Like 100 usually, maybe 105, 110. A lot of stores sell them for like 110, 115, maybe even 120, 125. I've heard of that. That's USD anyway. So I mean, yeah, you could be expected to have a slightly higher return, but you're not opening these in bulk. If you open 10,000 boxes, you can guess pretty much plus or minus 1 how many of each card you're going to get. But if you only open 1 or 2, you could open 2 $20 boxes, or you could open 2 $400 boxes. You never know. It swings so hard with this one. Now, there have been ones where it's just consistently high, consistently worthless, and nothing in between. But it's such a high number that it's like, well, half the rares you pull will be worth trading or selling. So, you know, those sets look good. This one, no, not really. But then again, if you consider 2 and up to be pretty good and not bulk, I mean, it's a little over a third. And then you add the mythics, you can kind of say, well, 50-50. Half the packs will be kind of okay or good. I don't know. Like I said, just it would probably be better to buy the singles. Now, that said, Heliod is sitting at $25. That's him right there. So, yeah, if you want him, 4 of him, you're looking at $100. Most of my decks don't cost $100. But then again, if you're playing on Arena, who cares? Costs don't matter. So that is the big benefit of Arena. But also, you can't just acquire singles on Arena. Well, I guess wild cards. But beyond that, you have to open packs to get them. So it's kind of roundabout. Kind of a hybrid system, kind of fair. I'm sitting on like 50 wild cards anyway, so I can build whatever I want. And last time I gave them money, I think Nixon was in office. So it all depends how you play, where you play, what you're building. I would say, you know, if it's prize supported F&M, open it. Obviously, don't trade the pack away saying, no, this isn't good enough. This box EV of 140 is a little better than we've seen actually lately, so it's not terrible. It's kind of a break even, but you know, if you're willing to gamble on the variance, hey, you know, but still, 1 box is a lot of money. I mean, $100 will buy 2 weeks worth of groceries if you do it right. So yeah, just saying. So hey, you make your decision based on how you play, what you do, what you're willing to spend, your budget, your lifestyle, whatever. But now you're informed on how good the product looks. And remember, these prices may vary very wildly. Now, no matter how hard the set takes off, it is virtually impossible to see that number go up. I mean, a couple cards will go up, a handful, but then the rest will just absolutely crash as people open up more boxes to get to them. So like all these $79, $69 cards are going to be 25 cents within like 2 weeks, pretty much. Now a couple of these right here might spike up, you know, if people play them, couple of these might spike up, couple of these might spike up, you never know, but it will be generally down from here. So unless you can predict which specific cards are going to go up, I wouldn't say, well, I'm going to wait, and if this looks like a successful product 2 weeks later, I'll buy it. No, the price will be lower at that point. Or I should say, not the price, the value. Probably the price will be the same. Now, the one thing to consider is what those lands will be worth, those fancy-looking lands. I think 25 cents a piece is a safe price. Card Kingdom has got them at 69 cents. I think that's a little optimistic, but also, I mean, people are just going to be like, I'll take 30, you know, so maybe they're doing it to just be like, yeah, okay, 75% of people will see that price and be totally turned off by it. But the remaining 25% that buy it will eliminate the entire stock, so who cares? That means it is priced correctly. But let's just say if they settled in at 50 cents, I wouldn't be that surprised either, because they look amazing. They're very, very Nyx, and people really like the lore in the story. I've heard a couple people say, oh, I hate them, they look like Pokemon. Well, who cares? They look cool. Like, if you just ignore everything and what it looks like and what other games it's from or whatever, and just look at the art and say, does this look cool? Yes, it pretty much does to most people. So, even though it's not your thing, I think people are going to want these. Let's put it that way. These do look cooler than the BFZ lands, which even those settled at 19 cents, and they were selling in the mid to high 20 cents range the whole time that they were out. So I do think these will be a little bit higher, I really do. But maybe not much higher, like between 25 and 50 cents is my guess. Now, if you were to take 50 cents, multiply by 36 and add to this, it's a lot better number. Just saying. But is it really a value if you keep it? I'd say yeah, because you'd have to buy the lands anyway. So if you're just thinking, oh, I get some cards and I get the lands, I want the lands anyway, and I play this color, my friend plays that color, we're going to open 36 and trade, you know, hey, there you go. I mean, it makes sense. So a lot of things to consider in this purchase decision. But now at least you have more info. So if you found that this video helps you out, leave a big ol' like on it, and I will see you guys next video.